Hi, and welcome to American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo, presented by Copper Spring Ranch. I'm Will Rasmussen. This week, after passing through the port of entry and completing the paperwork necessary to continue the trip, the journey, for now, has found its way to Spanish Fork, Utah, for the annual Fiesta Days celebration. As with all rodeos, the work before each of the performances is a daily challenge. Unloading, sorting, caring for and feeding the livestock. The Spanish Fork Fiesta Days Rodeo is more than just a rodeo. It's a festival, a time for community and fellowship. The town is jammed full of arts, crafts, music, rides for kids of all ages, and of course, the nightly PRCA Rodeo, featuring the best cowboys and cowgirls in the world and the livestock of Sankey Rodeo Company. This week on the show, we're going to check in with our featured contestants, as well as a couple of our featured horses, and show you some highlights of the rodeo action from here at Fiesta Days in Spanish Fork, Utah. So stay tuned. American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo will be right back. Welcome back to American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo, presented by Copper Spring Ranch. We are in Spanish Fork, Utah. 4 nights of PRCA action at Fiesta Days brings in the best competitors, top livestock, and some of the most enthusiastic fans in the United States. And extreme weather conditions. Our first event is bareback riding, a tremendous way to start a rodeo. It's fast, it's wild, it can be electric, and one of our featured cowboys is young J.R. Vizane of Cali, Wyoming. We caught up with him as he prepares to compete.
Here we're taping up our arm and elbow. We do good wrist support. Life of bareback rider is a little short, so we tape up to keep our arms safe and healed. And, when you get jerked on, so our elbows don't hurt, we don't hurt our elbows or tendons, keep our arms healthy. This is what makes our money, so we got to keep her intact. This is elastic on here. This is just different stuff we use for elbow. And then the white tape is our stronghold. Justin Sports Medicine supplies all the cowboys with tape and elastic on, and pretty blessed to have them around. We go through 2 rolls of tape a night per horse, so we use a lot of tape. Pretty blessed to be traveling with Kelly Timmerman, world champion bareback rider in 2004. Pretty much taught me how to ride bareback horses. It's been fun traveling with him. We have a little bet going on tonight that whoever has the highest point spur ride doesn't have to buy dinner, so should be pretty fun. Keep things interesting.
Spanish Fork's probably one of my favorite rodeos. Great crowd, great livestock, just a really awesome pro rodeo. Traveling with my buddy J.R. Vizane. Just won the college finals in the bareback riding, getting his feet wet in the world standings right now. I think he's in the top 20 for sure, so making a run for the finals. It's good to have a guy like that on board with me this year. Me and JR and Justin Moldashel, we've got a bet tonight. High Ride doesn't have to buy dinner, so they're going to be buying me dinner here in a little bit. JR's got a horse called Broadway tonight. Horse that's been in the finals, I think, 10 times. One of our superstars in the rough stock industry as a horse. And I won the rodeo on the horse there last year. And I've got a colt out of Broadway called Broadway Night, so friendly competition never hurts.
The competition between J.R. Vizane and Kelly Timmerman is on their half of the ride. What does that mean? Well, in the rough stock events, the cowboys are judged from 1 to 25 points on their ride and performance by 2 officials, and then the animals' performance is judged by those same 2 officials from 1 to 25. We then add the 2 together to get the final total. The bareback riding is probably the most physically demanding of all events in rodeo. After the riders tape up and stretch and warm up, the adjustment of the bareback rigging is critical. It's all they have to hold on to, a suitcase-like handhold and a heavily rosined glove.
Yeah, I get a ride before JR, so I'm just gonna give him something to shoot for, something to chase, I guess. Maybe try to give him something to beat.
Kelly draws a horse named Broadway Nights. This 7-time National Finals qualifier and the 2004 World Champion bareback rider scores 80 points. He puts the pressure on J.R. Vizane to see who buys dinner. J.R. Vizane has the award-winning horse Broadway. Sankeys are so proud of the 18-year-old horse that has been featured at the National Finals Rodeo multiple times. JR's score is 79. We will see who has the best ride between Kelly and JR to see who buys supper. Who do you think it should be?
What do you think?
I thought he was better than that.
Randy, good Lord, man, I'm on right on time. I just had to come in here and see all these nice folks in Utah.
What do you think of that?
It feels good. I've been waiting for my chance to get on that one. She just felt really good today. She was kind of weak, had her kind of weaker trip, but that's all right. She feels really good. She's a fun one to get on. Would have liked to have been 90, but we'll have to live with 79.
About that. It was a steak dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Justin has to buy it.
Now wait a minute, that has nothing to do with your hat. Why in the world would you pay so much for a hat?
Give glory to God. Thanks for keeping us safe, and on to the next one.
Here are some other great rides from Fiesta Days in Spanish Fork. One of our featured horses on this show is Parlor Game, with 2008 World Champion Justin McDaniel from Oklahoma, the combination good for 82 points.
Wasn't as much help as I thought she would be as far as helping you send your feet to your rigging and back. Horse was really good, had a bunch of moves. Like I said, really bailed in the air though. She got a little strong at the end, but a dang sure one you want to come get on every time and have a chance to win on. So I was real happy.
Stephen Dent from Mullen, Nebraska rides Panther Martini to a score of 82. Here is the great Bobby Moat, 4-time and reigning champion of the world in the bareback riding from Culver, Oregon, rides the high-kicking bucker called Chucker for 80 points. D.V. Fennell, the veteran and qualifier to 2 of the last National Finals rodeos, the 37-year-old makes a ride of 82 points. Casey Field, 3-time to the National Finals Rodeo from Utah with his dad, Louis Fields, a former world champion himself. He watches Casey mark 83 points. Clint Cannon is qualified twice to the National Finals Rodeo. The man from Waller, Texas, marks 82 points on Sankey's Chisholm Trail.
Sankey's one of my favorite contractors to go to. They got a lot of good horses. They draw the pens up really good. They put a lot of buckers in the pen. Especially here, this is a good rodeo. There's a lot of top hands here. You had 5 or 6 of the bareback riders that have been to the NFR. It's fun to ride against them, especially at a Sankey rodeo with a bunch of good horses out, a bunch of good hands. love being a rodeo cowboy. So best way for me to make a living. Wouldn't ask for anything else.
That wraps up the bareback riding from Fiesta Days. Don't go away. American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo. We'll be right back. Welcome back to American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo, presented by Copper Spring Ranch. The steer wrestling is a two-header here at Spanish Fork, Utah. Here's how the event shaped up. Clay Lloyd from Idaho finished with 9.8 on 2 runs after this run of 4.3. From the Lone Star State, it's Ben Schaffner, up the night of the downpour in Spanish Fork. Not to be deterred, however, finishing 9.1 on 2 runs. National Finals Rodeo qualifier Billy Buganig from California was 4-1 on this run, making him 9.5 on 2. 6'7", 260 pounds of a South Dakota steer wrestler by the name of Jake Reinhardt ties for second in the average with 9-1 on 2 after the run of 5 seconds flat. World champion Jason Miller from Wyoming wins fourth in the average after this 5.3 effort, giving him 9.3 on 2. But the rodeo belonged to Todd Soon from South Dakota, a 13-time national finalist. He won the average with 8.4 on 2 after 2 runs of 4.2. The victory just 1 week from his 38th birthday. Here are the steer wrestling standings from Fiesta Days in Spanish Fork, Utah. We caught up with featured contestant and 2005 World All-Around champion Ryan Jarrett just before his team roping run.
I'm entered here in the team roping at Spanish Fork. I'm filling in for JoJo Lamont. I'll be roping for Marty Becker here tonight. We got a steer that's I think sure supposed to try on pretty good and hopefully get a good start. And we're going at the day money bins. We took a no time first round, and we'll see how it goes.
Ryan and Marty Becker taking no time here in Spanish Fork. Jesse Sheffield and Ryan Mayfield won fourth in the second round with this 5-second run. Coleman Proctor and Caleb Twisselman won fourth in the average after this 4.9 effort. Caden and Ren Richard, the brothers from Utah, win fifth in the average with 11.1 on 2. Tennessee's Kevin Daniel and Montana's Chase Tryon 5.3 on this run, giving them 10.5 on 2, and they tie for second place. Colby Lovell and world champion Bobby Harris tie for second place with 10.5 on 2 after this run of 5.6. Placing fourth in the second round with this run of 5 flat, the brothers from Ellensburg, Washington, Riley and Brady Minor, win the average with 10.3 on 2. And this is how the team roping concludes. Let's check in with barrel racer Sue Smith before she competes.
I'm here at Spanish Fork in Utah, and I'm going to run my backup horse here because I want to give my main horse, Real Claim to Fame, a break. And this is a horse that I borrowed at Pocatello at the Dodge Circuit Finals, and I did really good on him there. So I'm hoping it goes good for me here tonight. I'm up in the slack, and my horse is a little tired, my main horse, and so I thought I'd give him a break here. Kind of hate to do it. This is a really good rodeo, and I've done really well here before. I've won this rodeo and placed at it, and this year just watching the rodeo, the ground's amazing. Like, the committee's done an excellent job, and I'm kind of disappointed that I can't run my main horse. But as I say that, though, this horse is very capable also, so I hope that I have good luck with him. He's just different. He goes to the left barrel first. I've ridden him before, so I'm hoping it goes good for me. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I've been all over since Cody. I've been back to Pinoca. I did good there. I won about $15,000 there. I ended up placing at Cody. I turned out of a couple of arenas because I just didn't feel like the ground was safe, so I didn't run my horse at a couple of those. Went to Calgary. I did really well at Calgary. I ended up winning about $25,000 there. Went from there to Cheyenne, and I won second in the first round there. And that's another reason why I'm just going to let my horse have a little bit of a break so that hopefully I can get something done at Cheyenne when I go back. That about sums it up as far as where I've been since Cody. It seems like forever. I get to go home after this rodeo. Probably leave tonight. It'll be late, but I just be real anxious to get home. I was home probably since the last time I talked to you guys for maybe 12 hours.
Don't go away. American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo will be back after this short break. Footage for American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo is being shot at rodeos approved by the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association with offices in Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you would like to contact the PRCA or learn more about professional rodeo, go to prorodeo.com. Now back to American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo presented by Copper Spring Ranch. Before the break, we checked in with barrel racer Sue Smith. Let's see how she does on her backup horse. She tips a barrel. We need to add a 5-second penalty. The total time, 22.93.
We watched a very successful including Wyoming just a few weeks ago during the Stampede celebration there.
Tammy Fisher from Ledbetter, Texas, on her award-winning horse Money, runs the pattern in a 17:49. Cassie Mosley, the lady from Farwell, Texas, and a horse she calls Mighty Man, 17:21 on the run. She wins over $1,800. The great Lindsay Sears from Nanton, Alberta, Canada, the 2008 champion of the world, and her fantastic horse, Martha, make a run of 17.17, winning over $4,000. Now we want to introduce to you a very special young lady. Her name is Amberly Snyder. Amberly started competing in rodeos at the age of 7. Then, when she was 18, her rodeo career, as well as her entire life, took a drastic change.
2009 year, so my 18-year-old year was the best year of my life, hands down. I made it to high school nationals and Little Britches finals and came home with the world title from that. And then come January of that 2010, I was on my way to Denver for the national stock show down there. And I was going through Sinclair, Wyoming. Well, I happened to check my map, and when I looked up, I'd faded over a lane. And so I overcorrected my truck, which I tried to fix it, but in the end I ended up rolling it. And I was ejected, and so I hit a fence post, and that's what broke my back. And you know, they told me in the hospital that I had no chance of of feeling anything, of moving my legs, of rodeoing ever again. They just told me that just wasn't going to happen. And 2 days after surgery, I started to get some feeling on one of my thighs, and so they changed me so that I have 3 years. That's what they tell me. They tell me I have 3 years to get everything back, but in my opinion, it's a continuing healing process. When I was ejected and I hit that fence post, it hit me right across my stomach, and I just folded in half and broke it off. And I was going about 70 miles an hour out of my window. And so that broke my T12 vertebrae and also damaged my spinal cord. And it didn't sever it, so I'm not a complete injury, but it did stretch it, that it did get damaged. And then the time spent from the accident site to when I got into surgery, that it just goes through that shock period. And so that, if you want to go with the prognosis, that's what happened just physically. What has changed is that I've regained sensation. I've regained sensation to past my knees, and I'm regaining some movement within my thighs, and my hip flexors work. So I actually have some leg braces, and if I stand in those leg braces, then I can walk in those with a walker, and they just lock my knee. So, you know, I've regained things little by little, and it's just more time and more therapy just to get more back. Well, I have physical therapy that's up in South Jordan right now, and what I do is, well, every time you go in there, you just set goals of what you want to accomplish. And from the beginning, it was just, you know, regain everything that I can. And so you do therapy with, I mean, they have you crawl, because, I mean, you just have to reteach your muscles how to do that, and they have you stand to put that weight on your bones. And this summer I went in there and I told them I want to do everything I can that I can be on a horse, that I can have my balance on a horse. So we worked a lot on my trunk muscles because they get really weak. I mean, they cut your back for one when you get surgery, and then they make you wear a brace for months that just stabilizes you, so then you lose all of that muscle. So I told them I need to strengthen all these muscles because I want to get on a horse, and I want to be able to balance on a horse. So that was my goal this summer. Well, I can tell you, I got on last summer. So I wrecked in January of 2010, and I tried to get on last summer, and it was hard. It was hard because it was different, and everything else in my life was different, and so I expected this to be the same. And when I got on and realized it wasn't going to be the same, that was hard. Through support and through my mom always encouraging me, you know, it's going to be okay, it's going to work out, I decided I'd try it. So last summer, we rigged up a seat belt on my saddle and was able to go through that. Well, then I went to school last fall, and I came back this spring, and I decided I'd try it again, you know, get on and see if it felt better than last summer. Because my balance has changed, well, and my outlook has changed, and my strength in my body has changed. And I got on, and it felt good. Like, it felt good again. And that's a feeling that you can't explain unless you've had it, that you just get on something and you know it feels right.
Wow, what a lady. We will catch up with her more next week and hear the rest of her amazing story. Plus, we will highlight more great rodeo action from Fiesta Days in Spanish Fork, Utah. Check us out on the web, won't you? realityprorodeo.com. I'm Will Rasmussen. We'll see you next time on American Cowboy Coffee Reality Pro Rodeo.